Hey, welcome back to Team Moteo TV 2015 Football Edition, Week 4 Selection Day. And right now we're going to go to that next 2:30 game, which will be the Eagles versus the Ravens. Chris, what do you got for me?
On paper, we're a pretty close matchup. We got the Eagles 6th on offense, 5th in defense, where the Ravens are 5th on offense and 8th on defense. Surprising last week that the Eagles lost to the Seahawks, but I think really what that does is it shows us how good the Seahawks are. We'll talk about them in a minute. The Ravens, they're pretty good, but it's going to be really hard for them to beat the Eagles this week because I think the Eagles, it's tough for them to lose back-to-back. And the Ravens, it's interesting enough, they lead the league in sacks, but yet they're next to last in tackles. And so there's one person on the team making some tackles. I don't know about everybody else. And I think it's going to be hard for them to catch the Eagles quarterback. I think they're going to have a tough time with their defense on the field. I think it's a bounce-back game for the Eagles. I think Eagles don't have a problem with this, and I think they'll win this one 27-18.
Yeah, I got to agree with Chris. I got the Eagles winning this one 32-21. I just think that Brian needs to rely more on his receivers and trust them. I think they could have easily beat the Seahawks if he doesn't try to run it in 2 times in a row for a touchdown or runs back like 10 yards and gets sacked. I think you just need to have faith in your receivers, get them the ball, let them make plays, and take some pressure off you. And, I mean, it should be an easy day for you. So I got the Eagles winning this one 32-21.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles. We thought that they were going to be a top 3 team in the league. And I think what it is they're not.
Okay.
I think that's we just had a high expectation for the Eagles, and I think they're just not that good. So I think the Ravens, they actually show potential. I think the problem with the Eagles is they've been there, they've done it so many times as far as making it to the playoffs, making it to the championship. I don't think the coaches are really focused. I see Lou more interested in taking pictures of himself on what you call selfies on
that's on the sideline.
On the sideline, that's weird. You know what I mean? Let's cut that out, Lou. And Vic, Vic he's married, he's in love, and he doesn't. I think his passion for football is gone as well. So I don't know. Now they added a nice key addition. They added Freddie's brother Ant, who actually got some sacks for him this last week. I think he's going to complement Julius in the middle. So I think defensively they'll continue to do well. I think just offensively, it's blah. It's boring over there. I know what's going on. They got so much talent. When you got Wesley, Teddy, you got all these receivers out there. You got to be able to produce points, and they haven't been able to do it. And they've never struggled with that in the past before. So I know Brian is balling. I don't know if maybe he's not seeing things or what, but they got to bounce back. The Ravens. Tim is definitely, also another guy going for most improved in the league.
Yeah.
And, we mentioned his name, I think, like 3 weeks in a row. You also got Donnell, who's pretty good as a receiver, and then Rob, who's the big, tall guy, who everyone thinks like 19 years old. He's like 16 or 17 years old. Leave him alone. Yes. You know what I mean? But the Ravens, they started Jeffrey again at quarterback this last week, and I thought he just started off a little slow, and I think, it's just the momentum just kind of got to him. But I think they're the real deal, and I got them beating the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to let them stick around, and I think they're going to score at the end, and they'll win this game 30-23.
Wow.
Ravens.
I was looking at a stat, and correct me if I'm wrong. You say Tim Brownlee had 6 sacks this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
It could be that maybe they don't see him.
Yeah.
He's kind of little, but
wow.
But he's grabbing the flags though.
All right, so let's go to that 4 o'clock game. The first 4 o'clock game will be the Raiders and the Seahawks.
I think this is going to be the game of the week right here. This is going to be a good one. I think what's surprising about the Raiders this year is historically they're always a good defensive team. They're always not necessarily always at the top offensively, and this year they're second best offensive team in the league. They're 4th in defense. The Seahawks are 8th on offense, which is actually better than they were a week ago, but they're number 1 on defense. And so you have 2 great defenses going at each other this week. I think the storyline here is the coaching. You have Tyquan and Jesse coming from that Packer lineage, that's had a lot of success in the league, and they're up-and-coming coaches that are trying to make a name for themselves. Then you have Rob, who I think is just a Team Mateo genius. I mean, he's bringing in the technology and all this stuff on the sideline, and he just finds ways to win no matter who he has on his team. So I think that's going to be a real storyline here, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring, a rough game, but I think the Raiders are going to squeak this one out 19-18. But if the Seahawks can win this, This would be the biggest game of the year for them. There's not going to be one bigger except for the Urban Bowl, because this right here would say you are the real deal. You're ready to take that next step up, dethrone the Raiders, and you're on top.
I'm going the opposite way with this one. I got the Seahawks winning this one in a close one, 28-27. I think it comes down to an extra point, and they just lob it up to Chisholm. Chisholm comes down, and he wins the game for them. I don't think the Raiders have an answer for Chisholm. I mean, Smoke is like, what, 5'2", 5'3"? No way in the world he's going to jump with Chisholm. Chisholm is like 7 feet.
Yeah.
Smoke's a little kid next to him. Also, Smoke played the Ravens last week when he threw 3 touchdowns, and I mean, I got to say, I'm not impressed. I mean, I thought he was supposed to be an elite quarterback, and he's still not over the 10 mark when it comes to touchdown passes. So either I think the Raiders are just a really good team overall, and his receivers making them look good, because Smoke is not that good, and you know, I'll go based on stats. But I think that the Seahawks are going to win. I mean, like I told y'all last week, continue to feed Chisholm the ball. There's no answer for them over there, and I think you guys can pull this one off.
Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks, I mean, they found, in spite of coaching, they found another way to win. And I think that's kind of what holds them back a little bit over there. I mean, I think when teams starting to play the Seahawks, they're starting to say, okay, who's going to stick Kadir? Because we know the jump ball's coming. Which safety can match up with him? And the Eagles had, I believe, one of the best shots to be able to do it. Jeremy, he was real confident. 6'3", he's going to come in and shut him down. And he got embarrassed too. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it don't matter, you know, if you're little, big, he's getting everybody. So you got a game plan for it. I mean, Smoke he's an average quarterback, but you know, I think you know, that shows how good Rob is that he's able to take an average, mediocre, not talentless, but you know,
He's no Josh.
no Josh. He's definitely no Josh. Josh lost only one game, you know, won 2 Urban Bowls, but Hall of Famer.
Yes.
But yeah, there's no Hall of Famer. Yeah, but he takes it and they continue to win. And I think the addition of Freddie, you know, Freddie. He persuaded Freddie to come back and play. Everyone kind of forgot about Freddie. He was in school and convinced him to come play on the Raiders. And I think that's going to help their defense out. I believe they're going to be moving Jock to middle linebacker and Jeff to safety. Now that leaves an interesting match. Now Jeff got some bunnies, but can he jump with Kadir?
No way.
Yeah, you know,
Take
so,
my chances on Kadir any day.
so we're gonna see if Kadir or Jeff is gonna get those balls.
I think George is the only one in the league that can stick
George
Kadir.
can't
I
jump with
think
Kadir.
George could
I
take
take my
him.
money in
That's
the
a-
check
hey,
on.
that's a good
You
talk.
can put
That's
your
a
money
good
up.
talk.
You
That's
can
a
put your
good
money
talk.
up.
Let's set up the game
Put
right
my
now.
page
Let's
up.
George is 105 pounds, not a shot.
What's
Not
your
a
score?
shot.
Oh yeah,
Soaking
so
wet.
well, real quick, you know, I think the Seahawks on defense they've just been great so far, and it's you know that's the one thing that Taquan has in hand in right now is the defense. But I think they've been lucky. I mean, there's no way Brandon can play cover 3. You know what I mean? And compete with these receivers. Rob is going to eat that alive. And for you guys who play the Seahawks, he's going to give you the formula on how to do it. Yeah. Now, I think Ortiz is also holding Mikey back. And I think he's also holding Tasheem back. Tasheem is the running back who, you know, kind of no one kind of really knows yet. He's probably the fastest player in the league. And he needs to utilize him more. But in this game, I'm going to have to go with the coaching. And you said game of the week. I said blowout of the week. I got the Raiders winning 40-20.
Wow. Wow, that is a blowout.
That is.
That is a blowout. I kind of think that the Raiders are going to have the Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to have their hands full with the Raiders offense. I think they have too much speed. I don't think Kadir's going to be able to go from one sideline to the other sideline trying to catch up to those receivers. So let's go to that last game, the Packers and the Colts.
Yeah, I think that the Colts have turned out to be a real good story. I mean, to get blown out by the Colts like that and then turn around by week 3 to win a huge game is impressive. I think the Colts they're setting themselves up to be really good. And I think what it is now is how are they going to do when they're tested again? And this is going to be a test for them because the Pac-9, I think, is one of the best teams. Obviously, one of the elite teams in the league. The only 2 teams that are undefeated. So I think the Pac-9, I mean, you're just looking at Shane. He's leading the league in touchdown passes, which is unbelievable. So as I look at this, I think the Pac-9 is going to be too much for the Colts overall. But like I said, the Colts' schedule gets soft after this. And so right now, I think the Pac's going to beat them 25-19.
Yeah, I got the Packers winning this one in the blowout, 48-12. I mean, Shane is just hot, so I'm going to ride the hot hand. He threw 6 touchdowns, I think, back-to-back weeks? was it?
I don't know. I think that's first time he threw
Oh,
6.
first time he threw 6. But I mean, he leads the lead in touchdown passes, and he's going to do it this week. He's going to throw another 6 touchdown passes this week, and Shane is going to continue to rip defenses apart, especially with the coach running the 2 safety. I think Shane is an experienced quarterback, and he's going to break that zone apart. So I mean, you guys want to take my advice this week. So I'm trying to tell you guys now, do not run a 2 safety in this league because it won't work. So for you guys not listening this week, you guys might change it for the following week after Shane throws 6 touchdown passes on the 2 safeties.
Yeah, you guys are talking about the 2 safety thing, but the Colts defense has been on top of the list the past 2 games. If it wasn't for that blowout they had week 1 against the Lions, they'd be ranked probably 2 or 1 on defense. So you guys are saying the cover 2 safety is not working, but they're managing it to produce on defense. I think Wayne deserves a lot of credit for rallying that team, and I think he took that team from a pretender and now to a contender. Beginning of the year, people were looking at the Colts like, okay, this is a gimme. Now you can't look at them like that no more. Chris is starting to develop into a quarterback. I know I said that last week. He actually hit Charles deep. I didn't think Chris had that big of an arm, but he surprised me. Hit Charles deep. Charles went up and got it. So he's starting to have the faith in his receivers. Renee is looking like the leader that I projected that he would be. And Esky is just an unbelievable talent to get on that team. They got the pieces to do great stuff over there. And I think this is going to be a close game. What I do like on the Packers, Shane is continuing to get better each and every week. He didn't throw any interceptions this week. He's making the right decisions. He's had a great relationship with Frankie, and now he's developed that with Crash and Khalif as well. So it's given us multiple options. And then Matt is our leading receiver right now. So Shane is spreading the ball. You can't just stick just one person on the team. So I like that. Defensively, we got to pick it up. Defensively, the last 2 games, we are declining. We've given up more and more points each week, and I'm not used to that as a Packers team. So defensive, we got to pick it up. And if we can't I'm calling out my middle linebacker, Ant. I'm calling out my middle safety, Crash. They're my heart and soul, my defense out there. And then Matt, we need to grab these flags, and we need to get turnovers.
Packer segment. Okay, what's your score?
All right, Jesus. All right, in the score, I got a close one here. I got the score being 22-20. The Packers, we know how to win the close games, and I think that's where we might have a little bit more experience over the Colts. I can go either way, but I got the Packers winning.
So y'all playing defense this week because y'all only giving up 20 points.
I said we're playing defense this week. Packer defense comes back.
Wow. Well, the one thing I want to hit on is that there's rumor and talk about Frank being the best receiver in the league, and he's not your leading receiver. And then it's Shane, who has one interception this whole season and through three games. I mean, the Packers, they look like the team to beat to me this year. So that's going to do it for this week. Team Hotel TV 2015 Football Edition. Make sure you remember your game day verse, Proverbs 11:14. Without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors.
Wow.